I ended up making 40 of these just to discover I needed 32. Felt like crying. Get up on the floor, dancing all night long. Get up on the floor, dancing to the break of dawn. Get up on the floor, dancing to the break of... Hi my loves, welcome or welcome back to another tutorial. In today's tutorial, like you can see from the thumbnail, I'll be teaching you guys how to make the granny square sweater. Yay! I never thought I could film such big tutorial, but I'm really glad I can do this for you guys, because when I uploaded the video of how I made these squares, I asked if you want to see a video of how I made the sweater, and I got, I think, 2 people say yes. So I quickly want to run you guys through how to get your measurements, the measurements you'll be needing for this sweater. This sweater is a unisex sweater, and I'm making this particular one for a male client. I would, however, show you how to get everything done for male or female clients, regardless, how to get the measurements you need. So let's go to the drawing board. I know you guys don't like math, but we have to do a little calculations here, okay? These are the measurements you need for the sweater. You need the chest measurement, the sweater length, how long you want the sweater to be, the sleeve length, how long you want the sleeve of the sweater to be, the sleeve width, how wide you want the sweater sleeve to be, and shoulder to shoulder. That's from the back point to the second back point, literally. So my client's chest, or if it's a female client, the bust, the one that was given here is 48 inches, so we're working with 48 inches, and I'll basically be breaking down these measurements as we go. For 48 inches now, we have 2 panels. We have the front panel of the sweater and the back panel of the sweater. You guys have to forgive my drawing. We can just make progress with what I do. Assume this is a front and back panel, okay? One of my square measures 5.5 inches. So this is 5.5 inches. I use inches for sweaters and basically a lot of measurements, but I understand some people use centimeters, so whatever rocks your boat really. Since one of my square is 5.5 inches, I have to first of all divide 48 inches, which is my client's chest measurement, by 2. 48 divided by 2 is 24 inches. So it means I have to get one panel to be 24 and another panel to be 24. So our square is 5.5 inches and we need 24 inches for the front panel. Give or take 24 inches, but I'd rather give, not take. What I mean by this is I would rather it's a bit over 24 inches than less than 24 inches, because this is a sweater. It's not something we want to be tightly fitted, okay? So that's 5.5 times, let's say 4. For the first sweater I did, that's the first, I've done this sweater before. The first example, I lined up 4 squares, and 5.5 times 4, it's about 22 inches. So you can see this is shy of 24 inches. But if I add another square, that's adding another 5.5, it would be about 26.5 inches. And 26.5 inches is way too big, because if we plus this by 2, that's front and back panel, that will be about 53 inches. And 53 inches is a lot compared to 48 that we're supposed to get. So this whole method will not work. And this is literally why I did 40 squares instead of 32. I did 40 because I thought I would have to line up 5 squares. Because the first one I made, where I lined up 4 squares, was a bit, the person's size is a bit smaller than this. So I thought, oh, because this person is bigger, I'll have to line up more squares. That's instead of 4 per line, I'll have to do 5 per line. But 5 per line is still too big. That's 26.5. So with this 22.5, so with this 22 inches that 4 would give us, we would work with 22 inches for one panel. So 5.5 times 4 is 22. That means we'll line up 4 squares, and I've done that already here. I've lined up 4 squares. This is a lot up close. I don't want to zoom out because we're going back to the book soon. But this measures, it measures a bit more than 22 because it also stretches a bit. That's why I say you don't want to make it, you don't want to add one more square to make it 26.5, because then this will still stretch. So when we are doing 22 inches here without stretch, it's stretching to about 24.5. Slightly, it will still stretch more if you stretch it, but we're not going to overly stretch it. Sticking to the fact that it's measuring about, let's say, 23, what I would do is when I'm done joining all these 4 together, let me zoom out. Once I'm done joining these 4, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. When I join these 4 panels together, that's each giving about 22. Remember when slightly tucked is 23. What I'll do is add a roll of granny square here, a roll or 2, to now give us our desired width, which is 24 inches. So I need 2 more inches to complete this, because this is 22. I need 2 more inches to complete this. So maybe I will do 2 rows of just granny stitches. I'll walk you guys through it. I'm just giving an overview. So when I start, you know what I'm doing. I'll do a row and a row, a row and a row. How about that? That would work. So that's how I got my front panel. So if your chest measurement is 48 inches or whatever your chest measurement is, you divide that by 2 because you have 2 panels. You have the front and the back panel. And then when you do that, you take the measurement of your square, of one square, and multiply it by the amount that will give you at least half of your chest measurement. That's one panel. Because I've done this arrangement for the front panel, I'll do that for this back panel as well. So once you do this, you will know how many squares you should make. For mine, I told you guys already, I made 40, thinking I'll have to add a 5th square on each, but I've discovered I just need 32, because this is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, that's 16. 16 times 2 for the front and back panel, that's 32. Joining our squares now, I also have a video of joining the squares on YouTube, but I don't know if that's a lot explanatory. So I will just run over it shortly. I stacked the squares up according to how I want the colors arranged, just in 5s. That's when I thought I would do 5. But now I'll just take 4, and God knows what I'll do with the extra squares. I think I would have 8 squares left. Maybe I should do another project with it. Let me know what you guys think. So I would take 2 squares and I'll just face them upside down. So the wrong side is facing me on both ends. And then what I would do is set my hook in the second chain in between the corner. Remember we did 3 treble crochet, chain 3, 3 treble crochet. So I would insert my hook in the second chain here, insert my hook in the second chain in the second square. You guys just have to pardon these chickens. There's nothing I can do to keep them quiet. I would then make a slip knot, pull this through my hook and chain 1. Now I will start joining from the first chain or the third chain. Remember, like I said, it's chain 3. There's 1, 2, 3. I inserted my hook in the second chain of both squares and chain 1. So I'll take the third, let's just call it the third chain. Third chain here, third chain here, make a single crochet. Then I'm going to the first treble here, first treble here, make a single crochet, second treble, second treble, weaving in that tail as I go, third treble, third treble. So it's a single crochet join. Now we are going to the double crochets. First double crochet of second square, second double crochet of second square, third double crochet of second square. Now I'll leave this tail, no longer weaving it in because there's a new tail for me to weave in here. First half double crochet of second square, second half double crochet of second square. And this is just what I will do till I get to the second chain in between these corners. So I will do this, I will do a single crochet till the first chain, and in the second chain of this and this I would slip stitch. I know black is not the color to explain with, that's why I do a lot of talking, because where you can't see me, I'm hoping my voice would guide you. But if you do have any questions whatsoever, please leave it in the comment section down below. I would be more than willing to respond to your questions and put you through in any area you do not fully understand. I also have a video on this on my channel. I would link it in the description box. So if I'm moving too fast in this one, you can just go there and get a hang of what I am doing. This is the first treble, second treble, third treble, first chain. We'll single crochet in the first chain of both squares, and then in the second chain of both squares we would make a slip stitch. Because we started here with something like a slip stitch, we just pulled through and chain 1, so that's why we're ending in the second chain with a slip stitch, chain 1 and cut off this yarn. So you've joined this. I really like the finish of this, that's why I stuck to it, and it's an easy way to join. Some joining methods are just tedious. I like this because it's crisp and it's easy. So I would do that for this and this, and once I'm done joining I would have 4. Then I would join 4 times. So I'll do this 4 more times. Then I will have a strip like the one I showed you guys earlier. Once I'm done joining, I should have a strip of 4s like this. And once I've joined them horizontally, square by square, I would now join these together. Just doing this, attach my yarn here and here. The same way we joined, join here, sorry, then join here. And we would have had our complete granny square joined. So once I've done that and I'm through with that, I would show you guys the front and back panel when joined together, and then I'll teach you guys how to add rows to this angle, not a square now, just granny rows to these sides to make us have the desired width we have, that if we had added a square would have been too large. So I would do this, all the joining I need to do, and then start working the rows and show you guys how I do that. After that, we would work the bottom of the front panel and the upper part, then we will do that for the back panel, and we would progress as we go. Okay, so guys, as you can see, I am done joining the front panel. Yeah, this is what our arrangement is looking like. To be honest, for the mixture of the squares, I just randomly did what I think would not clash, but obviously then watch out for this part because these two are alike. But apart from that, I think we're good. So I want to move on to the next step, which is what I was on about earlier. I told you guys that we will have to add some rows of granny stitch to the edge, because remember our client's measurement divided by 2 is more than 22, but the set of 4 squares aligned at 22. This is basically 22 by 22 because it's 4 by 4 squares. So I will do that now. To know the amount of rows to add, you literally divide what is left. So now we have 22 inches and we need at least 24 inches. So we would subtract 22 from 24. That's about 4 inches missing. So we'll try to put 2 inch here, 2 inch here, and we'll do this for both the front and back panel, because remember they have to be the same thing except at the neck side. So let me zoom this in. I'll start from the corner, any corner of your choice really. Make a slip knot on your yarn. In my case, that's the black yarn, but you can use whatever color yarn you want to use. And then I will just attach to this angle using a standing double crochet. So I'll make one standing double crochet, yarn over, make 3 double crochets here. Why we made just one here is because it's the start. You'll see it later on why we did that. So I would go ahead and make 3 double crochets each. That's what comprises a granny stitch. In each of these boxes, 3 double crochets each. When I get here, in order not to increase, I would do 2 double crochets here and 1 double crochet here. So that's at every corner of 2 squares that join together. That's what I would do, because if I do 3 double crochets in each of those corners, I am increasing my work, basically making it bigger. So that's 3 double crochet. Go ahead and put another 3 double crochet, another 3 double crochet, so when at this corner point now, this is what I'm talking of, I'll pull 1, 2, and then put this last one here. This stands as a cluster, so I wouldn't want to put 3 here, 3 here. That would be an increase, and it really does not need an increase at this point. So I put another 3 here and move on with my work. And just basically do the same thing all the way to this end. When you get here to the edge, you end with putting just 1 double crochet in this stitch. I'll see you guys when I get here. So guys, when you get to the last point, you've made double crochet clusters, granny stitches in each of these spaces. At the last point you put one double crochet. So now you chain 2, 3 and turn your work. Now in the first space you add 2 more double crochets plus your chain 3. That's a cluster you've just made there. And you go ahead and work the granny stitch, basically put 3 double crochet in each of these spaces, and when you get to the last space you put 3 double crochet. So I would meet you guys there. When you get to the last point, after making 2 double crochet, your last double crochet stitch should be on the previous standing double crochet, just like our chain 1 was attached to the double crochet. So I want to just quickly measure these out for us to see. So we've successfully made 2 additional rows to this. This black color is killing me, but it measures, the 2 extra rows measures about 1 inch. So now when we measure our square, our back panel, we have 23 inch. So I'll go ahead and do these 2 rows here, and by the time we measure that, we should have 24 inches, which is our original plan for one panel, because the total chest is 48 divided by 2 is 24. So we want to get 24 inches at the front and the back. So I would replicate these exact rows I did at the side here on the other side, and then do it on the other panel as well, and meet you guys back on how to proceed with our granny square sweater. You guys, so I'm done making this, joining the front panel and back panel. So this is the front panel and this is the back panel. It's basically the same thing. I joined both of them and I made the bottom part of the front panel. So I've made this bottom ribbon and edge. I did it for the one of the panels, so I'll teach you how to make it on this panel, the second panel. So what you want to do is, this is the side you made the extra granny stitches, that's both sides. You want to make this at the bottom or the top of where you did not make the granny stitch. So you'd make a slip knot with your yarn and attach your yarn to this corner here. So I'll insert my hook at the very end, pull through my loop, chain 3, it counts as a stitch, and then I'll put 1 more double crochet inside this space, that's 2. Then in this space I'll put 2 double crochet. In the next space I'll also put 2 double crochet. And now we are working on the stitches. So in every stitch I'll put 1 double crochet till I get to the end here, where I will replicate 2 double crochet in each space as I did in the beginning. But for now, in every stitch I will just put 1 double crochet. So we're done with row 1 of the bottom ribbon. For row 2 To move on, we would chain 3 on your work, then we would decrease. To decrease here, I would skip the first stitch and put double crochet in the second stitch. Then I would decrease again, that's I'm decreasing twice. To decrease again, I will yarn over, insert my hook, make an incomplete double crochet, yarn over, another incomplete double crochet. So I've decreased twice, and I would now make double crochet in every stitch till I am left with 4 stitches. When I'm left with 4 stitches, I will decrease 2 more times at the end by making incomplete double crochet in the last 4 stitches, just like I did at the beginning. I'll just make double crochet in all these and get back to you when I'm at the beginning or the end. Now I'm back at the last 4 stitches, and what I want to do is yarn over, start my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, start my hook in the next, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops I have decreased the first time, and I will do this the last time. So I've managed to make 4 stitches become 2 stitches, and remember, this is our second row of the bottom ribbon. For the third row, I will just go ahead and repeat what I did in row 2. That's another row of decrease. And for the fourth row, I would not decrease, not increase. I'll just make 1 row of double crochet in all the stitch. So I would do those off camera. Row 3, I would decrease twice at the beginning and end. Row 4, I would not decrease at all. I would just make 1 double crochet in all the stitch. And when I'm done, I'm moving to row 5, which is the actual ribbon. I would come back and show you guys. So I just finished row 4, where we did a whole row of double crochet without increases or decreases, and now we are moving to row 5, which is the actual ribbon for the bottom part of the panel. To do that, I will chain 3 like I've been doing, turn my work, and then skip 1 stitch. So I'll skip the first stitch because the chain 3 represents the first stitch, and I'll go into the second stitch now with a front post double crochet. To make a front post double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook through the front of the double crochet in row 4. So you take your hook inside and under, you yarn over, pull through 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. To make a back post double crochet, you yarn over. In the next stitch, you insert your hook, but this time landing at the back, yarn over, pull through 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. If you want to see an in-depth tutorial on how to make these front post and back post double crochet, please leave a comment down below. I will do a separate tutorial for that. And then the next is a back post double crochet, and then the next is a front post, and the next is a back post. So I will just keep alternating between front post double crochet and back post double crochet for the whole of row 5, row 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this is row 5 for me, and the amount of rows you do is basically up to you. Me, I did 5 rows of ribbon, 4 rows preceding the ribbon. So I did the first row just normal double crochet, the second row I decreased, the third row I decreased, the fourth row I did not decrease, and then for the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th row I worked the actual ribbon. You could alternate this to match your sweater. And another thing is, if your sweater is not so large, or you don't want this ribbon part to be curved in, you could just do one row of decrease here. So where I decreased in row 2 and 3, you could just decrease in row 2, and then in 3 and 4, or 3 alone, if that's what you feel like doing, you make normal double crochet. But mine was still too bogus than I would want it, so that's why I worked 2 rows of decrease. So I'll just keep alternating between the front post and back post double crochet for the whole of row 5. When I get to the end, I will show you guys how I will work row 6, and what I do for row 6 is basically what I will do till row 9, or in your case whatever row count you want. I am now approaching the end of row 5, which is our first ribbon row. And then, like I said, I would show you how to do row 6 and consequent rows to follow. So after putting your last double crochet, mine happens to be a back post, on the chain 3 that ends the row, you put 1 double crochet. So this is not back or front post, just 1 double crochet, and then you chain 3 to turn. You turn your work, and to move forward in row 6, 7, 8 and 9, what you would do is just yarn over, follow the post. So as it starts with a back post, I put a back post. Where I see a front post, I put a front post. However, back post will now be front post, and front post will now be back post, if you get what I mean. So remember, when we are facing this way, this was our front post and this was our back post. But when we turn it this way, this post now appears to be at the front and this appears to be at the back. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, make a stitch that suits whatever is facing you. Since this is a front post, I make a front post. This is a back post, I would do a back post. And you just keep on going like that. At the end of the row in chain 3, you would make a double crochet, chain 3, turn, repeat till you get the length you want or the number of rows you want. I did 9 rows in total. That's starting from the double crochet row, 4 rows of double crochet and 5 rows of ribbon. That was a total of 9 rows for me. You should do whatever amount of rows suits you. Okay, this is what mine looks like once I've done the bottom edge, and I want to measure this out for you guys to see. It measures about 3.5 inches, making my entire panel measuring 24 inches. Remember, we still have to do the neck portion. We've not done anything here, and my total length of my client is 27 inches. So I think this top portion will account for the remaining 3 inches thereabouts we need. So I would now teach you guys how to work the neck portion. Oh, need I say, you should repeat this in the other panel. It's exactly the same thing I did in this panel, you do in your other panel. However, for the neck portion, there would be a slight change from the back and the front panel. So we would work the front panel first, how to get the neck portion of the front panel, and then I will tell you also how to work the back panel. So guys, I'm back and it's time to work the top front panel, the top of the front panel. So I went behind the house back and made the first row already. This front panel the top of the panels are made of just 4 rows before we do the neck ribbing. So I made the first row already, but what I did was basically double crochet from this point, just like we did in the first row of the bottom panel. I did double crochet from this point down to this point, and you would want this double crochet to be an odd number. Why? Because you want it divisible by 2 and having 1 stitch left, so we can get a center stitch. So in my case, that was 95 stitches. Remember I said in the bottom first row, that's this one where we did not increase or decrease, I had 96 stitches before we did the other 2 rows of decrease, blah blah blah. But this one I made 95 stitch from the very beginning to the end. I just maneuvered a way to reduce 1 stitch because I want an odd number. So when you have 95 stitches, the middle stitch will be the 48th stitch, meaning we have 47 stitches this way, 47 stitches this way. You'll see why this is important shortly. Another thing is you could do it anyhow you like here. You could make an even number and just find what seems to be the middle stitch. But I just like symmetry. I love when it's actually equal. That's why I do this. After you've made the first row, for the second row of the front panel, you want to mark the middle stitch. After marking the middle stitch, you now want to draw out the neckline. I normally do 7 to 8 inches for the neckline. This is large, so I will do 8 inches. So you want it to be 8 inches from the middle. So that's 4 inches on this side, another 4 on this side. We'll go ahead and count the stitches here and here and put a stitch marker. So from the middle stitch, 8 inches or 4 inches on this side will be 2, 4, 6, 8. And 12. Let's mark 14. This is the 14th stitch. I think for the first one where I did 7 inches for the neckline, I did 3.5, 3.5, and that was 12 stitches for me. So it just depends on the size you're doing and how wide you want your neckline. So from here to here is 4 inches, as you can see. I'll just count 14 again from this. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And I'll put a stitch marker. This is a total of 8 inches, perfect, with this being the middle stitch. So for row 2, now that we've marked our stitches, we would move forward by chaining 3, and you turn your work. So you make a double crochet in the next stitch because chain 3 counts as a stitch. And then you make double crochet in every stitch till you're about to get to your first yellow stitch marker, not the middle stitch marker, the neckline stitch marker on the left or right. So you just do 1 double crochet in every stitch till you're about to get there. So we're almost at the first yellow stitch marker, and what you want to do is when you have just 1 stitch to the stitch marker, that's 1 stitch, then the stitch marker, you yarn over and do a decrease, making these 2 stitches 1. Yarn over, insert your hook in the first stitch, pull through 2, leaving the 2 loops on your hook. You yarn over, insert in the stitch marked stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then you pull through the last 3. So we've decreased here, and what you want to do now is turn your work. We are moving on to the 3rd row of the neckline ribbing. You turn your work, and this is the first stitch, right? This is the decrease stitch. To decrease in row 3 from this angle, we would not go into this first stitch, but we would slip stitch into the second stitch. I don't know if that is clear. This is the decrease stitch we just did. To decrease in row 3 now, we would slip stitch into this stitch, not going into this but starting from here with a slip stitch. So I will make a slip stitch here. To make a slip stitch, you insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and you pull through this, and then I will chain 3. Chaining 3 to start, I will now make a double crochet in every stitch to the end. So what you will observe is that we've decreased by 1 stitch in row 2, and we're also decreasing by 1 stitch in row 3. You can go ahead and shift your stitch marker to this chain 3 because this is your first stitch in row 3. So you make double crochets normally to the end. Note we are only decreasing in the neckline side, we're not decreasing at the end here. I would also give you guys a stitch count for people that want to count their stitches. For row 2 I had 33 stitches, so for row 3 I should have 32 stitches. Let's get to the end and count, okay? You guys, it's so early in the morning, so if you could hear the cocks crow in my video, please pardon that. I hope I'm audible enough for you guys to hear me over the chickens. I just have to film this morning because I'll be back late from work today and the tutorial must go up. Okay, so we've got into the very last stitch, which is the chain 3. Would make 1 double crochet here, and if you count back you should have 1 stitch less than you did in row 2. So this is 2, 40, 32. Perfect. We are going on to the last row for the neckline, which is row 4. To move on to row 4, I will chain 3, turn my work, and make a double crochet, skipping this one because the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Make a double crochet in every stitch till I have 2 stitches left. Then we'll do our last decrease. I'll meet you guys when I'm almost there. To decrease in the last stitch, you insert 1 double crochet in the second to the last stitch, and then you don't go into the very last stitch, which in this point was our chain 3. I counted my stitches and I ended up with 31 stitch. That's 1 stitch less of the previous row. So you repeat this on the other side of the sweater, making sure you mirror exactly what you've done on this side on the other side. But in this case, you start from the part that is at the neckline. That's just from the stitch markers point downwards, so it's an exact mirror of this particular one. So to do that, I will insert my hook at the stitched mark point, make a slip knot with my yarn and pull through. I will chain 1 and then I will make a double crochet decrease at this beginning because I'm trying to mirror the other part. So I made an incomplete standing double crochet and then a double crochet decrease, so I have 1 stitch, and then I'll make 1 double crochet all the way down to the very last stitch. At the end of this row I should have 33 stitches, which is same as what I got in my other side. And then for row 3 I should have 32. For row 4 I should have 31. Everything should just mirror what was done on the other side.